Welcome you all to this session, Secondary Education. Overview. In today's global knowledge economy, education plays a vital role in determining a country's economic growth and its people's standard of living. Education forms a critical partial of a person's hold-up as it enables them to benefit skills that have been indispensable to face hold-up situations. The process of education for any child begins with the first baby steps. He or she starts his or her primary education at a tender age of 3 or 4 years and thus begins the journey of the child. Whether the child gets transformed into a complete human being or otherwise would depend on the quality of education. After completing primary education, the term used for compulsory education for minors is secondary education. However, secondary education in some countries includes a period of compulsory and a period of non-compulsory education. While primary education is very important in terms of setting the basic right, secondary education is also very vital as it is the launching pad for the teenage student to launch himself to a higher level of specialized education. The secondary subsection has some problem of definition in the sense that it falls between primary and tertiary levels and there is no universal agreement as to where primary ends and tertiary begins. In most educational systems of the world, secondary education is optional higher education. Different cultures have different names for secondary education, referring to these institutions as high schools, gymnasiums, lyceums, middle schools, colleges, vocational schools and preparatory schools. In some countries like United States, secondary education is known as K-12. The definition changes depending on where you are. As countries made strenuous efforts to achieve universal literacy and primary level education for all, while at the same time expanding and improving their quality of the systems of tertiary education. For many nations, secondary education had become the weakest link in the education chain. But now secondary education has increasingly become a central policy concern of developing countries, particularly among those who have made rapid progress in universalizing primary education and those in which demographics transition has shifted towards adolescence. In the UNESCO World Education Report of 2000 on the right of education, it states that primary education has expanded significantly in many developing countries since the 1950s. This has in turn resulted in significant increase in gross enrollment in secondary education. As access to secondary education has expanded, there is much problem with its quality. The quality has declined as resources have been stretched thin and systems have become more inefficient. Many countries are grappling with the question of how to either provide skills and knowledge enabling adolescents to move to tertiary education or ensure a smooth transition to work for students whose secondary schooling will be terminal. The challenge faced by secondary education is enormous. It addresses the problem unique in human development. Secondary education is critical for the development of the young people during their adolescence, the most rapid phase of their physical, mental and emotional growth. At the secondary level, values and attitudes formed at elementary education are more firmly ingrained alongside the acquisition of knowledge and skills. Without requisite education to guide the development of the youngsters, they will be ill prepared for tertiary education. Not only that, secondary education acts as a highway to tertiary education, but also opens up the windows to the world of work. History of secondary education. The history of secondary education in Europe and United States of America is instructive since in many respects its evolution has guided patterns of curriculum development in other parts of the world. In Europe, secondary education began with the training in religion and philosophy. Its purpose was to prepare religious leaders. As time passed by, general topics for applied professions were added as a part of secondary and higher secondary education curricula. the medieval Trivium, which include grammar, rhetoric and logic, and Contrivium, which include arithmetic, music, geometry, and were treated this way. While these two were associated with higher education, there was little difference between secondary and tertiary education. The early secondary education was based on Renaissance model. In 1599, the Jesuits implemented the first clear and complete specification of subjects and content as a part of the Counter-Reformation. The curriculum was called Ration Studiorum, which means plan of studies. It was initially implemented in the University of Salamanca in Spain. The European secondary schools were mainly for men. It focused on intellectual training and its purpose was to promote logical thinking, refined forms of expression and improved memory. They did not pay much attention to practical application of knowledge. Education was done mainly to create an elite group of men who would be prepared to assume leadership roles in any spheres. With the beginning of 18th century and with the start of Industrial Revolution, there was a change in studies in general. Government involvement in secondary education grew. In the United States, private secondary level school for elite people existed throughout the colonial period. The first public school in US was established in Boston in 1821. From the 19th century to the Second World War, the curriculum at the secondary level began to incorporate more subjects. It became more detailed and specific. It specified the content to be covered and within what time. The emphasis on philosophy, divinity, classical languages and ancient history was eliminated, giving importance to modern languages, literature and modern history. Scientific and technological subjects were also included. At this time, the government decided to educate a broader segment of their secondary school age population and included females for the first time. Secondary education became less elitist. More universal subjects were included and curriculum became more diverse. The curriculum still included and was dominated by needs of the socially and economically privileged. The needs of the masses were not given any importance. The most irreversible process of change was that a heterogeneous group was included for study. Later, more and more people were interested in school going. Separate lower and junior secondary schools were established to cater to growing number of students in the secondary level. Not only this, emphasis was given to social usefulness of schooling and learning by doing method. It was in US that the trend of broadening the curriculum started. They were responsible for introducing many practical and vocational subjects in the 20th century. In the second half of the 20th century, courses in family, living, driver's education, consumer economics and mathematics were included for the very first time. As students with greater range of abilities, interest and motivation entered the secondary level education. Streaming and homogeneous grouping became prevalent. Academic secondary schools became more comprehensive and diversified. Courses like graphic, designing, carpentry, machine shop and home economics began to appear. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik satellite. This increased in the number of scientific topics taught in Western secondary school curriculum. In the post-Second World War period, the trend was to divide students into streams to serve a wider variety of interests and abilities. The main aim was to provide access to a wide range of higher education through alternative curricula and broaden the secondary curriculum to include more subjects. The US started giving the students counseling to help them choose subjects particular to their interests and abilities. Secondary education in developing countries. Indigenous system of socialization and education have always existed in all cultures, but in developing countries they did not involve formal academic secondary education to any significant extent until recently. In the 18th, 19th and early 20th century, colonial powers educated only a few colonized people, and that too on a basic level. This was done only to produce competent workers. colonial education policy for a few individuals educated beyond the primary school tended to emphasize the production of middle-level clerical and administrative personnel. The curriculum given to them stressed on correct language, arithmetic skills and accounting abilities. 2 decades after World War II, colonial countries got their independence. It brought a universal recognition to the importance of education at all levels. But even after independence, these countries maintained the old colonial curricula for a very long time. Industrialized countries adopted more flexible approach to the educational experimentation, including experimentation in curriculum. The curriculum models in developing countries were adopted from Europe and United States. The new curriculum movement of 1960s had great influence in developing countries. Secondary education and role of World Bank. The World Bank recognizes the critical role of secondary education to the economic, social, and human capital development of nations around the world. Historically, secondary education has often been neglected in developing and financing educational systems. But today its vital importance cannot be ignored. Secondary education is the crucial link between primary schooling, tertiary education, and the labor market. Its ability to connect the different destinations and to take young people where they want to go in life is more important than ever before. The World Bank started lending for education in the year 1963. Since World Bank started lending, the bank has played a prominent role in assisting developing countries in their efforts to expand secondary education and to improve the quality of institutions and programs. The World Bank has advocated lending money for secondary education in countries that have achieved universal access to primary schooling. This has been practiced for the past few decades. The World Bank is currently assisting 67 countries with the development of their secondary education system. Lending for secondary education totaled $5 billion between 1990 and 2009, with the projection of $320 million in new lending for 2010. Additional support for secondary education efforts is included as a part of the general education lending each year. The lending has been done by selective scholarship schemes and the encouragement of private and community schools to improve quality and efficiency in education through competition. Based on its experience in many countries, the bank has advocated for a more holistic approach to secondary education rather than one which focuses on vocational education. In countries with high secondary education enrollments, bank interventions have focused on 2 things: improving employability and productivity of school leavers through support to vocational secondary schools, increasing country competitiveness by improving the quality of general secondary education to raise the overall productivity and trainability of labor force. In countries with low secondary education enrollment, bank projects have focused on the following: meeting specific shortages of educated manpower in the public and private sectors by raising secondary school completion rates, improving the social conditions of the poor and reducing inequality by expanding access to secondary education. Since the mid-1990s, 4 factors have promoted a rapid increase in the share of lending to general secondary education. As primary completion rates have arisen, the demand of secondary places has grown. The equitable and sustainable financing and management of secondary education has become a major challenge, especially in low-income countries. The role of secondary education in economic and social development is being reassessed in the context of globalization and competitiveness in the information age. Changes in secondary education are being driven by rapid transformation in the technology and labor markets. The objectives of World Bank supported secondary education projects can be grouped into 6 categories: expansion of secondary education, poverty and equity focus, gender focus, improvement of quality of secondary education, rehabilitation of physical facilities, improvement of efficiency and management in secondary education. The World Bank collaborates with educational leaders and international organizations worldwide to promote the sharing of knowledge, research, policy analysis, and best practices designed to strengthen access, quality, and equity in secondary education. The World Bank works in partnership with a worldwide range of organizations, including the following: UNESCO, United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, Secondary Education; UNESCO, International Bureau of Education; UNESCO, International Institute of Educational Planning; Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, European Training Foundation; Department for International Development, UK; United Nations Children Fund, Secondary Education and Gender Parity. There is no question that secondary education has a key role to play in the social, economic, and human capital development of countries around the world. The task before today's societies is to transform secondary education institutions and current schooling practices to align them with the demands of a globalized and technology-driven world. Secondary education systems everywhere will need to be more flexible, relevant, and responsive to both local needs and the global environment in the 21st century. Advantages of secondary education. Education is also often regarded as a mechanism for promoting equality of opportunity and social mobility. Productivity and economic growth are enhanced if the talents of the population are more fully utilized. Education is also often regarded as a mechanism for promoting equality of opportunity and social mobility. Secondary education contributes to the individual earning and economic growth. Primary education and secondary education complement each other in many ways and so act as two-way street. Increased primary education completion rates can boost demand for secondary education. The expansion of secondary education can be a powerful incentive for students to complete and graduate from primary school. Secondary education is a vital part of virtuous circle of economic growth within the context of a globalized knowledge economy. In today's world, acquisition of the enabling skill and competencies necessary for civic participation and economic success depends on access to good secondary education. The education which serves as a bridge between primary and higher education is expected to prepare young people between the age group 14 and 18 in the world of work and entry into higher education. Secondary education is a gateway to the opportunities and benefits of economic and social development. Access to good secondary education entails having a system in which students have real opportunities to play meaningful roles in the enterprise of their own education. Demand for access to higher levels of education is growing dramatically as countries approach universal primary education. The Global Education for All efforts provides added momentum for the growth in the secondary education. Furthermore, globalization and the increasing demand for a more sophisticated labor force combined with the growth of knowledge-based economics gives a sense of urgency to the heightened demand for the secondary education. Secondary education is now being recognized as the cornerstone of educational systems in the 21st century. Quality secondary education is indispensable in creating a bright future for individuals and nations alike. Let us summarize the major ideas in this unit. The chapter begins with the role of education in shaping up individuals of nation and its role to play in the social, economic, and human capital development of countries around the world. Whether the child gets transformed into a complete human being or otherwise would depend on the quality of education. Secondary education is a gateway to the opportunities and benefits of economic and social development. It acts as a launching pad for the teenage student to launch himself to a higher level of specialized education. Different cultures have different names for secondary education, referring to these institutions as high schools, gymnasium, lyceums, K-12, middle schools, colleges, vocational schools, and preparatory schools. Secondary education has now increasingly become a central policy concern of developing countries, particularly among those who have made rapid progress in universalizing primary education. In the UNESCO World Education Report of 2000 on the right of education, it states that primary education has expanded significantly in many developing countries since the 1950s. This has in turn resulted in the significant increase in gross enrollment in secondary education. The second module in detail discusses the history of secondary education. The module starts with the history of secondary education in Europe and US, since in many respects its evolution has guided patterns of curriculum development in other parts of the world. Secondary education in developing countries has also been discussed. Then the chapter explains the role of World Bank in secondary education. The World Bank recognizes the critical role of secondary education to the economic, social and human capital development of nations around the world. The World Bank started lending for education in the year 1963. Since World Bank started lending, the bank has played a prominent role in assisting developing countries in their efforts to expand secondary education and to improve the quality of institutions and programs. The World Bank is currently assisting 67 countries with the development of their secondary education system. The World Bank collaborates with educational leaders and international organizations like UNESCO, European Training Foundations, Department of International Development, UNICEF, etc. worldwide to promote the sharing of knowledge, research, policy analysis and best practices designed to strengthen access, quality and equity in secondary education. Secondary education is a gateway to the opportunities and benefits of economic and social development. Access to good secondary education entails having a system in which students have real opportunities to play meaningful roles in enterprise of their own education. Secondary education is now being recognized as the cornerstone of educational systems in the 21st century. Now, you can try to answer the questions given here. What is the role of secondary education in shaping up a country? Explain the history of secondary education. How does World Bank help in education of various countries? What are the advantages of secondary education? Now you can go through these books for reference. Key Issues in Secondary Education, Introductory Reading, John Beck, Mary Earl Continuum, International Publishing Group, 2003. Secondary Education Issues and Challenges, Hans V. Knudsen, Nova Publisher, 2008. Thank you for attending this session. We can meet again with another topic soon. Take care.